Welcome to the third day of July 2025. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation, an exercise that I do every morning around 5:30 a.m., a little late today. I do this to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. I also do this to think about the last 24 hours, how I did with the challenges and the opportunities that I met. I remember my creed, and I prepare for the coming day. So let's get started. A little note about why I was running late. Had a couple of suspicious incidents of activity on my online accounts in the last 24 hours that had me scrambling to make sure a couple of accounts were secure. So I think it was mostly a false alarm, but nevertheless, you can't be too careful about that stuff. So I was busy doing that. But nevertheless, I'm calling today password day because I think I'm going to go through and update passwords and ensure two-factor authentication on my most critical accounts. So, interesting. Okay, let's get started. First, welcome to new subscribers. Glad to have you here. Just a note that this is my journal video, so I talk about myself, and I go deep sometimes to territory that makes people uncomfortable, so be forewarned. You're welcome to listen in and leave comments. I do read and respond to comments, but not until the end. Also, huge thank you to my supporters, those that watch my videos, my members on YouTube, and my supporters on Patreon. I greatly appreciate you. Let's see. So, beginning in earnest, last 24 hours, I left the house and I left my notebook sitting on my little table there, so I don't have my notes with me. But yesterday was another day. If you've seen the last couple of days, you've seen I've been talking about how I'm dealing with my rising incompetence. Today was another good day of managing my incompetence well. Had more, Miko and I were out and about. I was driving. My incompetence really rises to the fore when I'm out in the community. And it doesn't have anything to do, or not a lot to do, with being in Japan. It's incompetence with run-of-the-mill day-to-day things. And it was there again yesterday, and I managed it well. See yesterday's video if you want a long description of what I'm talking about. But I'm pleased to see that if my incompetence is not decreasing, at least I'm managing it well. That's the purpose of all of this, is to tune myself to live a life where I can press forward through the clear space and within a reasonable degree through the areas of obstacle. Imagine like climbing a mountain. Sometimes the mountain climbing is easy, sometimes it's rough. Am I able to find a way to chart a forward path in either case? So this is not about complaining about my incompetency, but recognizing it for what it is and working out ways that I can live well, where well is defined as living in accordance with my values, in spite of my incompetency. And yesterday was a great day of it. Man, I was kicking butt with it. I was failing right and left, and nevertheless pressing forward with an optimistic spirit. And just like so many things in life now, since I've been doing this exercise since 2018, because I treat these things on a daily basis, they don't surprise me. It's not like the incident happens and I remember an hour later how to behave well or how to behave in accordance with my values. It happens in the moment. So much so that, and I take for granted sometimes just how much that is the case. All I need to do is kind of remember back, 2 decades ago when I was in the height of my adulthood, so to speak, in my prime, yet, a capital flailing mess in terms of my ability to manage myself. And I can remember those days and remember how I would encounter problems then, and they would break me, and I would fall down. They would knock me over, and I would be down for a while before I'd have to get up like a boxer getting knocked off. Now I'm more like a boxer who can, even though I'm old, I can bend and move, and the strikes don't hit me so hard. I see them coming. I see them for what they are, and I find myself continuing to dance around the ring in spite of the fact that I'm old. It's good. That's the yield. That's the gain of all this effort. All right, so there was a second note. What was it? Okay, the first note was about the incompetency. I don't remember what the second note was. Yesterday was a good day though, just on a more of a general summary note. It was a budget day. So Yumiko and I went out and had coffee together, and we're kind of divided things up. You know, and this has always pretty much been the case with our relationship. You know, we call it the gozintas and the gozautas. The gozintas are the money that's coming in, and the gozautas are the money that's going out of our home. And I've always taken the lead in terms of bringing in money, and Yumiko's always taken the lead in terms of spending and protecting our money. So we had a meeting yesterday to go over state of our budget that we're still refining here in Japan. We have a budget. And then also I prepared a report. So we made two reports. Yumiko made a report on her June expenditures and relative to our budget, and I made a report on our June income relative to what? Well, what I'm trying to do is service a couple of things. To cut to the chase, though, Yumiko did really good. She reported some good numbers. She came in at 11% under budget for June. Good for her. We had a nice June, including a big trip to IKEA. In spite of all of that, we still came in under budget for June. Nice job, nice work, Yumiko. And as for me, with the gozintas, even though I still have gozintas. It comes by way of my pension, and that more than covers the budget. But I'm doing good otherwise as well. So I had a good month. So we both had a good month. We had a good month yesterday on both parts. We had a good talk and a good meeting and a good breakfast together, and the day unfolded very nicely. It was a good day. So nothing more to report. I don't remember what that second note was, but I'll let that go. My creed consists of 8 objectives. Number 1 is to be always ready to die. Number 2 is to make good and effective use of my time. 3 is to develop and maintain good and sound life principles. 4 is to cultivate good emotional reactions. 5, to perform good actions relative to my creed. 6 is to recognize my true limits and true opportunities. 7, to do just one thing at a time and do that thing slowly and deliberately and carefully. And number 8 is to keep my balance. Moving on to today. The plan for today, well, it's a doctor visit day for Yumiko's dad, so she's going to take Dad to the clinic. Yesterday, Yumiko and I spent a good part of the day going around town shopping for improved articles of clothing to wear in the garden. Japan is this wild place, as you can see, and our garden is a madhouse. I mean, I can't describe it. It's like a little shop of horrors back there. Just the way the fecundity of life, and it's just taken over. And there's also a lot of mosquitoes in this kind of environment, and we're not well prepared for it. So yesterday we got well prepared. We got more appropriate clothing, better gloves, better outfit, changed the color. It turns out that dark colors attract mosquitoes, light colors dissuade them. And most importantly, we hunted for big hats and then mosquito netting that we can have around our heads. And today we're going to get some cool wraps to go around our neck. So we're arming ourselves up, and I'm going to my plan is to make a foray back into the yard to try to take it back, and I'll make a video to represent that. More about that in just a second. There was something else, but I forgot. So on to the thing about more about this. So I stopped the Retiring in Japan series, yet I still want to do videos that chronicle the day. And I had a talk with Yumiko yesterday about it, and I was saying, the Retiring in Japan series was good and fun to do, but I don't feel like all the highlights are done. And she's like, well, just make video about the day. And we were having our coffee and breakfast yesterday at a restaurant that we used to go to before we moved to Japan, called Kenohi, and which means in Japanese like every day. She says, why don't you make Kenohi videos, which would be just like everyday videos. She said that the purpose of the meaning is just basically it's nothing special, it's just today. What a great idea, Yumiko. So I think I'm gonna kick off a third season of Retiring in Japan, and that third season will be the Kanohi days, the everyday experience. And I'm going to upload a video that I made yesterday, basically inspired by Yumiko's wise words. I just uploaded, it's a short 6-minute video, kind of recounting some of the things Yumiko and I did yesterday. And I'm going to try to do that again today. So I'll upload that video a little later this morning. I'll create the playlist, add that, and then upload that. And then I'll begin unfolding the video today. And then today's effort in the yard will be cataloged in that that'll be the second video in the Retiring in Japan Season 3 Kanohi Days series. And hopefully this will be the long one. This will be the one to sustain us beyond the first 6 months of retirement. Oh, I remember the other thing I said I wanted to do, which is that coming back to the start of the video, I need to come back and secure some of my accounts. Oh, and there was a good thing that causing me to go in and check on the security of things allowed me to uncover some charges that were a bit of a mystery. I couldn't figure out where the charges were coming from. And on my credit card, actually it's an ATM card, I couldn't figure out where they were coming from. And now I know where they're coming from. And they're totally good and legit. So that's good, now I know. And it's just funny because yesterday going over the budget, I had brought that up to Miko. I said, there's these 3 charges that are a mystery to me. I don't know what they are. And I got to the bottom of it this morning. That's why I started the video late. I'm circling back. I was checking some security out to make sure that one of my accounts was secure before I headed out to do that. Okay, that's it. Let's read comments and then we'll finish off. Hi, Michael. Missy Boo, hey, haven't seen you for a while. Good morning, Kurt, and everyone in chat. I love the water running in the background. Isn't it nice? And good morning to you. Robert says, good morning, Kurt. Hi, Michael, Little John, and Missy Boo. And Missy Boo says hi to Robert. Peprex, you need a monster weed whacker for that. I do, although I'm trying to do my garden without machinery. I know, okay, call me sentimental, call me old-fashioned. I really do want to, do it the old-fashioned way. Okiyama Ray says, it's amazing how quickly everything grows, isn't it? The extra heat lately fuels all the weeds and vegetables, but it's taking its toll on fruits and rice. I just can't get over it, Okiyama Ray. It's like, I swear if I would just sit and stare at it long enough, I could watch this stuff grow. It's amazing. I don't remember ever seeing anything like this. I mean, it was like this before when I lived here. I just wasn't in a garden. I didn't have a garden. Robert says hi to everybody again. Pep Mex, or to additional people. Pep Mex Rex says hello back to Robert. Tim, hi Tim, good morning. I've certainly found now in retirement how little money you can get by on. Surprisingly so. I think the biggest fear pre-retirement was there was enough money. You know, it's funny, Tim. I've mentioned this before. I will literally go 2, 3, maybe 4 days without spending any money at all now. And I think that what was going on largely was that I was spending money because to fuel my career, right? I mean, all the incidental stuff relative to my career, gasoline to get to work, not to mention, food going out to meals with my coworkers. And I think there was the soulless money that we spent, to soothe our broken souls and our broken nerves, little impulse purchases now and then, a little Starbucks. Like I don't really do Starbucks or anything like that anymore. Yumiko and I, when we go out we're driving around, we'll pull over and get convenience store coffee because it's really good. But you're right, Tim. I was so worried about there being enough money, and we're living the most frugal budget of our lives at this point. Things will change next year when Social Security kicks in for both of us, and our budget will really be much better. But for now, we're living a pretty frugal life, just on my pension, and trying to avoid touching any of our retirement savings. Yet we were 11% under budget last month, and we had a great month. I mean, we'll go figure. Robert says hi to Tim. Tim continues, I guess the biggest advice I had concerning money's pre-retirement was ensure you clear all debts, loans, house mortgage. Yeah, good point. Before we retired, I just simply made a call to a spreadsheet with the columns showing what our expected our expenses in retirement to be, and what our expected our income to be, and just to discover if if there was if not This is the word parity. You know, hopefully there was more coming in than going out. And would that be able to sustain us with taking into account things like inflation, cost of living, emergencies, etc., right? Tim says hi to Robert. Evelyn, hey Evelyn. Tim says, definitely the impulse buying when I was working, probably to cheer myself up. Yep, that's what I think I was doing too. I mean, I would come, I work from home largely, but I would remember before I was working from home, I would be driving home on my motorcycle and you know, pull over for a coffee just to kind of, what's that song? What's the group? The Long Way Home, right? You know, take the long way home. You know, pull over for a coffee to hang your head. Not to mention all the stuff, the pseudo hobbies that I tried, you know, now and then to try to, again, to assuage the pain, right? Which I don't need to assuage anymore. Supertramp is the group. That's right, Robert. Yeah, Long Way Home, right? Okay, great. Well, I think that's it for today. Thank you. I'm sorry I was late this morning. Like I said, I had to pull aside to do the security, make sure my account was secure. Boy, that was a good one. They nailed me on that one. Someone definitely tried to log into one of my accounts last night. I got on top of that. And this one this morning was awfully suspicious that I got it, but it turned out it was just a really good, well-crafted phishing email. And I got to the bottom of that. Anyway, enough of that. If you didn't catch the message, I'm going to be uploading a new season 3 Retiring in Japan today. It's only 6 minutes long. It might be boring. It's very pedestrian and just Yumiko and I just doing stuff without any great fanfare, because I still want to do that series of videos, but I feel like I don't want to upload them if they're not like great, humongous things happening. And Yumiko's like, just record the day, Kurt, and you know, people can decide if they want to watch or not, right? So that's going to happen today, and I'll make another one today too. Pepe Rex, thank you so much. Tim, thank you so much. Evelyn, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, yes, one of my favorites. Take care, everybody. Be safe, but not too safe. Take care.